Carlos Alcaraz just got hit with a slap in the face from the ATP, and not the kind you walk away from smiling. The ATP has a treasure chest of $20 million, ready to be divvied up among the top 30 players who've performed like gladiators in the Masters and ATP finals. But while Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev have walked away with the lion's share, poor Carlitos has barely managed to scrape a fifth of what they've pocketed. Talk about being left with the crumbs at the feast. Let's break it down. 2024 was a decent year for Alcaraz. Not bad, not great, but certainly not his best. Sure, he's got the bragging rights of winning Wimbledon and Roland Garros, which are like the crown jewels of tennis. Add in Indian Wells and the ATP 500 in Beijing for some extra bling. But despite these shiny moments, his weak finish to the season and Jannik Sinner's relentless consistency have shoved him down to third in the rankings. And let's be honest, third place isn't exactly the spotlight when you're used to dominating. Now, here's where the real sting comes in: the bonus pool. That's ATP's fancy way of saying, thanks for hustling, here's some cash for your trouble. The problem? Alcaraz didn't hustle enough in the Masters tournaments to cash in big. Meanwhile, Sinner has been raking in cash like he's hit the tennis jackpot. €2.78 million, to be exact. That's what you get when you conquer 3 Masters 1000 titles: Miami, Cincinnati, and Shanghai. Zverev isn't far behind with over 2.5 million, thanks to big wins in Rome and Paris. And Alcaraz? Well, he's sitting on a measly €891,000. Yeah, it's not chump change, but compared to Sinner and Zverev, it's like finding spare coins under the couch cushions. Still, it's better than Novak Djokovic, who didn't earn a single cent from the bonus pool. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Why? Because he wasn't even in the top 30. Ouch. But hold up, the story isn't over yet. The 2025 tennis season is just around the corner, and the Australian Open is the first big battleground. Starting on January 12th, the world's top players will be fighting for glory down under. Alcaraz and Sinner are gearing up for the Grand Slam, while Djokovic and Zverev are already testing their game in pre-season tournaments. Zverev, in particular, came out swinging at the United Cup, leading Team Germany with a stellar performance that bulldozed Brazil out of the way. Spain, on the other hand, not so much. They've already been knocked out of the United Cup, leaving Alcaraz with all the pressure to make 2025 his comeback year. And boy, does he need it. If Carlitos wants to prove he's more than just a big stage star, he'll need to bring some serious consistency to his game. The question is, can he step up and shut down his critics in Melbourne? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure: Alcaraz better bring the fire, or 2025 might just be another year of playing catch-up. Let's go, Carlitos! Carlos Alcaraz might have taken a few punches from Kazakhstan and Greece, but let's talk about Germany. They came in guns blazing. Laura Siegemund kicked things off with a solid performance, winning her match 6-3, 1-6, 6-4 against Beatriz Haddad Maia. That set the stage for Alexander Zverev, aka Mr. World No. 2, to either seal the deal or leave the doubles match as the tiebreaker nightmare. Spoiler alert: Zverev handled it like a boss, crushing Thiago Monteiro with a clean double 6-4. Germany walked away with the win over Brazil, and Sasha made it clear he's not here to mess around. He's ready to throw down for the big trophies this season. But wait, the Germans didn't just stop there. Siegemund teamed up with Kevin Krawietz to dominate in doubles too, beating the Brazilian duo of Alves and Matos 7-6, 6-4. Germany isn't just flexing their muscles, they're basically saying, hey, Sinner and Alcaraz, don't get too comfy on top. This solid performance was Zverev's way of sending a loud and clear message to his rivals: you're not the only ones in the spotlight, kiddos. Let's talk about those spotlight hoggers for a second: Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Sinner, the Italian machine, has been stealing headlines for his incredible consistency, while Alcaraz has been cleaning up at the big events. The Spaniard walked away last year with shiny trophies from Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and Indian Wells. Not too shabby. But while everyone was busy drooling over these two, Zverev quietly climbed up the rankings, snatching enough points to leapfrog Alcaraz. And now, the Germans ready to bring the fight straight to their faces at the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year. It's gonna be a showdown, and Zverev's got his sights locked on proving he's not just a supporting act. Speaking of Alcaraz, the kid's got a lot to prove. The Australian Open is his personal kryptonite, just like it was for Rafa Nadal back in the day. The Spaniards and the first slam of the year? It's like oil and water. Last year, Carlitos made it to the quarterfinals before getting booted out by Zverev in 4 sets. Brutal. For a guy who's already bagged 3 Grand Slam titles, that stings. He's been training like a madman under the watchful eye of Juan Carlos Ferrero, with 2 practice matches lined up in Australia before the big event. He's hell-bent on breaking the curse and finally adding that elusive Australian Open trophy to his collection. But let's not sugarcoat it. Melbourne is a beast of a tournament, and Alcaraz knows it. The conditions are rough, the competition is fierce, and the pressure? Through the roof. Yet, the kid from El Palmar is determined to make a statement. He's not just looking to win, he's aiming to silence every doubter who's dared to question his ability to dominate across all surfaces. So, here's the tea. January 2025 is shaping up to be a showdown of epic proportions. Zverev's throwing punches early, Alcaraz is gearing up to exorcise his Australian demons, and Sinner is probably meditating somewhere, ready to crush souls with his icy precision. Whether Carlitos can shake off his Aussie jinx and finally claim that title or Zverev pulls off a coup remains to be seen. One thing's for sure, though, this season is gonna be a roller coaster, and we're all here for the ride. Buckle up, tennis fans. Carlos Alcaraz is putting in the kind of hard graft that makes you sweat just thinking about it. Back home, he's been training like a man possessed, with his team dialing up the intensity to make sure he's ready to bring the heat to Melbourne. The Australian Open is looming, and let's face it, no one wants to start their season looking like they've forgotten how to hold a racket. The tournament officially kicks off with the qualifiers on January 6th, but for big shots like Alcaraz, who slides straight into the main draw, the action starts the week of January 13th. In the lead-up, Carlitos has lined up 2 exhibition matches to fine-tune his game. His first sparring partner? None other than Alexei Miñaur, the Aussie speed demon who's probably spent more time on these courts than the janitor. Their match is set for Wednesday, January 8th, at the crack of dawn, 9 a.m. in Spain, when most of us are still deciding whether to hit snooze or get up. Last year, the two played a similar warm-up match around the same time, and de Miñaur managed to sneak a win with a 6-4, 5-7, 10-7 scoreline. But let's not get carried away. When it comes to official matches, de Miñaur has never beaten Alcaraz. The scoreboard reads 2-0 in favor of the Spanish prodigy, and you better believe Ferrero's golden boy will be out for blood this time. Then, just 2 days later, Alcaraz will step onto the court again to face another local favorite, Alexei Popyrin. These two haven't crossed paths much, but the one time they did, back in Winston-Salem 2021, Alcaraz walked away the winner, although it wasn't exactly a cakewalk. The Spaniard had to dig deep for a 6-7, 6-1, 7-6 victory. Their rematch is slated for Friday, January 10th, at an ungodly hour of 7 a.m. in Spain. Yep, coffee is mandatory for anyone planning to watch this one live. These two exhibition matches will be the only on-court action Alcaraz gets before he officially begins his Melbourne Park campaign. Eyes on the prize, Australian Open. Alcaraz is heading into the 2025 season in top physical shape. Gone are the stomach issues that derailed his ATP Finals performance, leaving him looking more like a rookie than the guy who conquered Roland Garros and Wimbledon last year. It's true that 2024 didn't end on a high note for Carlitos. His second-round exit at the US Open was a gut punch. But the kid's done a full mental reset, wiping the slate clean and setting his sights on the one slam that's been a thorn in his side. Let's not sugarcoat it. Melbourne hasn't been kind to Alcaraz. His best finish so far? Quarterfinals. Last year, he got sent packing in 4 sets by Zverev, just as he was starting to smell the semis. But this time, he's coming back with vengeance in his veins, ready to do what his idol Rafa Nadal struggled with for years: conquer the Aussie Open. Standing in his way is Novak Djokovic, the Serbian king of Melbourne Park. The guy's won the damn thing 10 times, for crying out loud. Last year, though, he didn't make it to the trophy ceremony. Jannik put the brakes on his campaign in the semis before going on to take the title himself. Alcaraz knows the level he'll need to reach if he wants to outplay the likes of Djokovic and Sinner. And let's be real, with the way Sinner ended 2024, Carlitos will have to channel his absolute peak if he wants to stand a chance. Join the ride. If you're as hyped about the new season as we are, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like. Here at Tennis Extra, we're all about giving you the goods: deep dive analysis, exclusive interviews, and wall-to-wall coverage of everything happening in the tennis universe. From player strategies to the drama of tournaments, we've got you covered. So come join the best tennis community on the internet, and let's kick off 2025 with a bang. Who knows, maybe this will be the year Carlos Alcaraz finally adds that elusive Aussie Open trophy to his growing collection. Stay tuned, folks. It's gonna be one hell of a season.